Thank you for choosing wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Part 1. Why the bedside is a portal of energy. Have you ever wondered why some nights you sleep soundly and wake up feeling renewed, while other nights you toss, turn, and rise as if you've carried the weight of a storm through your dreams? What if I told you the difference wasn't your schedule, your mattress, or even your stress levels, but the invisible forces circling your bed? In Buddhist thought, the moments before sleep are a return to what the mind once was, still, open, unguarded. In Feng Shui, your bed isn't just a piece of furniture. It's the energetic core of your personal universe. And your bedside? It's the gateway through which fortune, vitality, and clarity either flow in, or silently leak out. That's why the objects you keep near your bed matter more than you think. They may seem harmless, a mirror, a phone, a stack of paperwork, but each one holds an energetic frequency that interacts with yours as you sleep. And depending on what you've surrounded yourself with, you could be inviting in peace and abundance, or silently sabotaging your health, wealth, and emotional stability night after night. I once spoke with a man, successful, wealthy, seemingly invincible, who confessed that no amount of money could buy him rest. He had everything, yet every morning he woke up with migraines, low energy, and a creeping sense of dread. The cause? A simple object on his nightstand he never questioned. In this video, we're going to uncover the 7 most overlooked energy disruptors people keep near their beds, objects that drain prosperity, fragment spiritual focus, and block personal growth. But we're not stopping there. I'll also share with you 3 sacred items you should place near your bed to create a space of healing, focus, and abundance. If you're serious about resetting your energy, this video will show you how. What you learn here may seem small, even ordinary. But the truth is, your future could be quietly shaped by what lies within arm's reach while you sleep. Let's begin. Part 2. The energy bed, spiritual gateway or energetic trap? The bed is the most underestimated altar in your life. It's where your body surrenders, your thoughts dissolve, and your spirit, according to Buddhist philosophy, returns to its original form, free from identity, ego, and effort. In sleep, you are not your title, your worries, or your ambitions. You are just presence. And that presence is deeply sensitive to the environment that holds it. That's why in Feng Shui, the bed is considered the heart of the home's energy system. It's not simply a place for rest, it's an energetic gateway, a point of entry and exit for the subtle forces that shape your luck, your relationships, and even your clarity of mind. Think of it like this: just as your phone charges overnight, your life force, your chi, also recharges while you sleep. But what happens when the outlet is faulty? When static, noise, or disruptive frequencies surround it? The charge becomes weaker, interrupted. The same applies to you. Ancient Chinese masters spoke of the breath of space, the silent dialogue between a person's sleeping body and the vibrations around it. Meanwhile, Buddhist teachings remind us that the mind reflects what it rests in. A chaotic bedroom leads to a chaotic mind. A sacred bedroom? A calm, purposeful life. And here's the secret most people overlook. Your bed doesn't just reflect your energy, it amplifies it. If what surrounds you is aligned, you rise stronger. If what surrounds you is polluted, you carry that fog into your day, your decisions, and even your destiny. This is why some people wake up confused, angry, or fearful, and can't explain why. It's not always emotional trauma or insomnia. Sometimes, It's an energetic echo, a subtle clash between your inner field and the space meant to heal you. So the question isn't just, am I getting enough sleep? It's, is my bed feeding my spirit or draining my soul? As we move into the next section, we'll begin identifying the specific items that turn your bedside from a place of power into a silent trap, and how to reclaim it as a true sanctuary for abundance, clarity, and inner peace. Part 3. 7 Hidden Energy Traps Near Your Bed. When your body sleeps, your spirit does not. Even in stillness, your energy is interacting with everything around it, absorbing, deflecting, or struggling silently against the unseen forces that fill your space. Most people assume that a bedroom is safe just because it's quiet. But silence isn't always peace. And not all stillness is sacred. In this section, we'll uncover 7 common objects people unknowingly place near their beds, objects that disturb the flow of life energy, invite stagnation, and weaken your ability to renew each night. Let's begin with the one that hides in plain sight. Number 1. Mirror, the split soul effect. At first glance, a mirror feels harmless, even elegant. We use it every day to check our reflection, decorate our space, or open up a room visually. But when placed near your bed, especially facing your body while you sleep, a mirror becomes something else entirely. According to both Feng Shui and Buddhist energy principles, mirrors don't just reflect light, they reflect and scatter energy. And during sleep, when your consciousness drifts and your soul enters what the Dhammapada describes as the stillness between thoughts, this scattering can create energetic fragmentation. In simpler terms, your inner field becomes split. This is why many people who sleep across from a mirror report restlessness, chronic fatigue, or even feeling watched at night. The mirror, acting like a second presence, can lead to mild sleep paralysis, visual disturbances, or strange, recurring dreams. It's not that the mirror is haunted, it's that your energy is being doubled and disrupted when it should be grounded and focused inward. I once worked with a best-selling author in her early 40s who struggled with relentless nightmares. Her home was peaceful, her schedule stable. But her mirror, large, ornate, directly facing her bed, was the unseen culprit. The day she moved it, her sleep returned. Within a week, her mind cleared, and the dark dreams vanished. If you must keep a mirror in your room, cover it at night or ensure it doesn't reflect your body. Ideally, mirrors belong in well-lit areas like closets or bathrooms, not in the sanctuary of sleep. Because when energy splits, so does the soul, and no dream can restore what's been quietly fractured. Number 2. Sharp objects, blades against fortune. We often think of sharp objects as tools, useful, practical, even necessary. A pair of scissors on the nightstand, a letter opener in the drawer, or a decorative dagger on display might seem innocent enough. But in the world of energetic flow, sharpness doesn't just cut paper, it splits intention and wounds harmony. In both Eastern spiritual traditions and Feng Shui, pointed objects are symbolic of aggression, interruption, and defense. While you sleep, your energy field naturally softens to restore itself. But sharp objects near the bed act like energetic blades, they pierce that softness, preventing your aura from sealing and recharging. Have you ever woken from sleep feeling irritated, anxious, or emotionally on edge without knowing why? Sharp energy has a way of entering the subconscious. It creates chaos in dreams, tension in relationships, and sometimes even unexplained accidents or arguments. One entrepreneur I worked with, a restaurant owner in California, had started experiencing chronic insomnia and mounting conflict with his business partner. It turned out he kept a small chef's knife under his pillow just in case. He thought it made him feel safe. In truth, it was slicing through his own peace. If you keep anything sharp in your bedroom, scissors, needles, craft tools, store them far from your bed. Wrap them in soft cloth, or better yet, place them in a closed box and remove them from the sleeping zone entirely. Because rest is not just physical, it's energetic. And no one sleeps well with a blade at their back, even if it's only symbolic. Number 3. Mobile phone, digital toxins in a sacred field. In today's world, your phone likely follows you everywhere, even to bed. For many, it's the last thing we see before sleep and the first thing we touch upon waking. But this small rectangle, buzzing with signals and notifications, carries more than just information. It carries chaos. From a Feng Shui perspective, your bedroom is meant to be a zone of stillness, where yin energy can settle and heal. But a phone radiates constant movement, electromagnetic fields, blue light, emotional stimulation from texts, news, and social media. It introduces a kind of restlessness into the space that should cradle your spirit. Buddhist thought teaches that what we consume, even mentally, becomes part of our karma. Scrolling through emails or doom-scrolling headlines before bed doesn't simply agitate your thoughts, it seeds anxiety into your energetic field. Over time, this leads to a shallow sleep, trouble focusing, and even emotional numbness. I once consulted with a software engineer who reported persistent insomnia and low energy. Everything in his life seemed in order, except for the glowing screen he kept under his pillow just in case work emailed. After 1 week of removing the phone from his bedside and switching to a traditional alarm clock, his energy and focus began to return. The fix is simple: place your phone across the room, or even better, outside the bedroom. Let your body and mind exist without digital intrusion. Because true rest begins when the world is quiet, and so is your device. Number 4. Memorabilia of the deceased, when love becomes a weight. We keep objects from those we've lost not out of superstition, but out of love. A father's watch, a grandmother's shawl, an old photograph tucked under a pillow. These items carry stories, memories, and tenderness. But in the sacred space of your bedroom, they can unintentionally anchor sorrow. From a Feng Shui standpoint, the energy of the deceased belongs to the yin realm, quiet, still, and unmoving. In contrast, your sleeping area should hold balanced yang energy to support healing, clarity, and renewal. When yin and yang mix improperly, the result is energetic friction, leading to disturbed sleep, lingering sadness, or even unexplained chills and heavy dreams. In Buddhist teaching, attachment, especially to the past, is one of the roots of suffering. Holding on to reminders of the dead, especially close to where you sleep, can bind your spirit to grief rather than freedom. A woman I once advised kept her late husband's wedding ring on the nightstand for years. She couldn't explain why she woke up often in tears or felt cold spots in her room despite the warmth. Only when she lovingly moved the ring to a private altar space did her nights begin to lighten. Honoring the departed is sacred. But so is protecting the living. Create a designated area, outside the bedroom, for memorial items, where love can be remembered without becoming a silent weight. Let your sleep be a bridge to peace, not a tether to pain. Number 5. Financial documents, active pressure in passive space. Money carries movement. It circulates, changes hands, builds empires, and fuels dreams. But it also brings calculation, worry, and responsibility. When you place financial documents, tax forms, contracts, bills, even your wallet, next to your bed, you're inviting that restless, transactional energy into a space meant for surrender. Feng Shui teaches that everything has a frequency. Rest spaces should be slow, nourishing, and grounding. Financial items, on the other hand, are active, They stimulate the mind, stir thoughts of gain and loss, and activate the fight or flight response, even subconsciously. When these two frequencies clash, sleep becomes shallow, and the mind cannot fully release. A young startup founder once told me he kept his laptop and bank statements on the nightstand to stay ahead. Yet each morning, he woke up anxious and mentally foggy, despite getting 8 hours of sleep. The problem wasn't the sleep, it was the pressure that never left the room. In Buddhist terms, this is a form of subtle clinging, attachment to control, even while unconscious. And it comes at a cost. Your nervous system never truly powers down. The solution is simple. Designate a business zone outside the bedroom. Keep your wallet, contracts, and anything related to money or work away from your rest space. Because abundance doesn't thrive under pressure. It grows when you learn to pause, release, and trust that stillness, too, is part of the flow. Number 6. Dirty clothes, stagnant aura pockets. What we wear absorbs more than sweat and scent, it absorbs energy. Throughout the day, your clothing collects traces of your emotions, surroundings, and interactions. When you toss those same garments near your bed at night, you're not just inviting in laundry, you're inviting in stagnant, used up energy. From a Feng Shui perspective, anything soiled or disorganized creates blockages in energetic flow. Dirty clothes are particularly heavy in vibration. They hold on to the day's frustrations, fatigue, and even negativity you've brushed up against unknowingly. If they sit too close to where your spirit is supposed to restore itself, that heaviness can settle into your dreams. I recall advising a popular wellness influencer who couldn't understand why she was waking up groggy, even though she meditated and exercised regularly. One glance at her bedroom revealed the answer: an open basket of unwashed workout clothes right by the bed. Moving it to a closed hamper in another room made a remarkable difference in just a few days. Buddhist teachings remind us that clarity comes from cleanliness, both physical and mental. When your space is clean, your energy can rise. When it's cluttered with residue, your inner light dims. So if you've grown used to tossing clothes onto a chair or corner near your bed, pause and rethink. You're not just keeping laundry there. You're sleeping in yesterday's emotional dust. Clear the space, lift the energy, and let rest be truly refreshing. Number 7. Broken clock, frozen time, frozen fate. A stopped clock might seem like a small thing, just a dead battery, an old piece you haven't gotten around to fixing. But symbolically, it speaks volumes. In Feng Shui, a broken clock represents more than malfunction. It represents stagnation, halted progress, and energy that no longer moves forward. Time, in both Eastern philosophy and modern psychology, is not just a measurement, it's a rhythm. And when that rhythm stops, especially near your bed, it subtly tells your subconscious that life is stuck. You may find yourself feeling lost in routines, unable to complete projects, or strangely weighed down by the sensation that nothing's changing. One retired executive I worked with had a beautiful antique clock on his bedside table, stopped at 3:42 a.m. for over 2 years. He'd grown used to it. But so had his energy. He described feeling frozen in time, waking each day with the sense that life was slipping through his fingers. After he removed the clock, things began shifting. He reconnected with friends, took up painting again, and reported feeling like life had resumed. Buddhist wisdom teaches that clinging to what no longer serves us is one of the causes of suffering. A stopped clock is an anchor to the past, and your bed is no place for anchors. Fix it, remove it, or replace it with something that reminds you, time is alive, and so are you. We often assume that rest is about what we do, but true rest begins with what we allow. These 7 silent intruders may not seem dangerous, but night after night, They erode your clarity, luck, and inner balance in ways you may never consciously trace. In the next part, I'll share a true story of transformation, how one small shift in the bedroom space helped unlock healing, abundance, and peace for someone who thought they had tried everything. Part 4. When my client couldn't sleep for a year. His name was Daniel, a 38-year-old marketing executive living in Chicago. On paper, his life looked enviable: a corner office, 6-figure salary, high-rise apartment, and no shortage of recognition from his peers. But inside, Daniel was falling apart. He hadn't had a full night's sleep in over a year. "I don't know what's wrong," he told me during our first consultation. "My mind won't stop, and even when I do sleep, I wake up feeling more exhausted than before." Doctors had prescribed medication. Therapists had tried guided meditation. He had eliminated caffeine, taken melatonin, even installed blackout curtains. Nothing worked. When I asked him to walk me through his bedroom, something immediately stood out. A large black mirror directly facing the bed. An antique dagger gifted by his grandfather resting in the nightstand drawer. 3 phones, personal, work, and a backup, all charging on his nightstand. A framed photo of his late brother, who had passed in a car accident, placed beside his alarm clock. It wasn't just one item. It was the accumulation of energy disruptors, each one slicing into his sleep, his thoughts, his spirit. We didn't begin with therapy. We began with rearrangement. The mirror came down. The dagger was wrapped and stored in a box outside the room. All phones were moved to the living room and replaced with a traditional alarm clock. The photo of his brother was gently relocated to a peaceful altar in the study, where it could be honored without overshadowing Daniel's healing space. Within 3 nights, his sleep deepened. Within 3 weeks, he stopped waking up in dread. And after 2 months, he told me, "It feels like I've come back into my body." We spend so much time trying to fix our inner state, without realizing that our outer space is speaking directly to it. Sometimes, healing isn't about doing more. It's about removing what quietly harms you. Part 5. Objects that can heal. 3 powerful items you should keep near your bed. Once the harmful items are gone, your sleeping space becomes quieter, but emptiness isn't the goal. Energy loves intention, and nature abhors a vacuum. So the question is, what do you invite in? While certain objects can silently drain your life force, others can gently restore it. These next 3 items have long been trusted in both traditional Feng Shui and modern energetic healing practices, not for superstition, but for their subtle but lasting effect on how we sleep, feel, and regenerate. Let's begin with something as humble as salt. 1. A bowl of salt, the invisible cleanser. Salt is one of the oldest energy purifiers known to man. In nearly every culture, it has been used to bless, to seal, and to cleanse. Feng Shui regards salt as an earth element, grounded, stable, and highly absorbent. It draws in excess moisture, but more importantly, it draws in and neutralizes stagnant or chaotic energy. At night, especially after a stressful day, your body releases not just tension but also emotional residue into the space around you. Placing a small bowl of pure sea salt near the head of your bed helps soak up this energetic discharge, allowing your aura to repair. One woman I guided through deep emotional healing kept a bowl of salt on a ceramic dish beneath her bed for a full month after her divorce. She said each morning felt lighter, as if grief itself had been quietly absorbed. To try it yourself, place dry, chemical-free sea salt in a ceramic or glass bowl. Keep it out of direct sunlight, change it every 7 days, and never reuse the old salt. Discard it outside, not down the drain. 2. Rose quartz, the gentle healer of the heart. Among all healing crystals, rose quartz is uniquely attuned to the heart's frequency. Its soft, pink hue mirrors the softness it brings to the emotional body. Often called the stone of unconditional love, rose quartz works quietly, not to force joy, but to invite gentleness back into your inner world. Feng Shui practitioners use it to calm overthinking, reduce anxiety, and stabilize the subtle energy fields around the head and chest, areas most active during sleep. It resonates especially with those suffering from emotional fatigue, insomnia, or recent heartbreak. One client, a woman in her 50s emerging from a painful separation, began sleeping with a palm-sized rose quartz under her pillow. Within weeks, her nightmares stopped. "It's not that I don't feel sad anymore," she told me, "but the sadness no longer swallows me. Choose a natural piece, tumbled or raw, no need for perfection. Cleanse it in moonlight or with sound, like a singing bowl, and place it either beneath your pillow or on the nightstand." 3. Laughing Buddha, a guardian of joyful sleep. Unlike solemn statues that evoke awe or devotion, the laughing Buddha brings a different kind of spiritual energy, ease. With his round belly, open smile, and relaxed posture, he reminds us that joy is a sacred state too. Feng Shui sees this figure as a protector of emotional harmony, especially helpful in dissolving lingering heaviness in the bedroom. His presence emits a frequency of light-hearted resilience, a necessary counterbalance to the worries and obligations we tend to carry into sleep. One high-stress attorney I once advised kept a small wooden laughing Buddha on her left nightstand. She said she began waking up with a softness in her chest, even on the days she dreaded court. The change wasn't just energetic, it was psychological. She had made space for levity, even in silence. To integrate this guardian into your space, choose a Buddha made of natural materials, wood, ceramic, or stone, and place it at a level from the bed, ideally to your left. Keep him clean and smiling. These items are not magical charms. Their power lies in what they represent and how you relate to them. They're reminders, to cleanse, to soften, to smile. And in that, they become anchors of peace. Sometimes, transformation begins not with big life changes, but with a quiet bowl of salt, a warm pink stone, or the gentle presence of joy beside your bed. Part 6. What your bedroom reveals about your mind. Your bedroom is more than a room, it's a mirror. Not of your taste or your budget, but of your inner state. It reveals how you process stress, where you store unresolved emotions, and whether your spirit feels safe enough to let go. In both Buddhist wisdom and Feng Shui tradition, the space where you sleep is considered sacred. It is where the conscious mind releases control, and the unconscious begins its quiet work of restoring, realigning, and remembering who you are beneath all the noise. And just like your breath during meditation, your environment must be clear and steady for your energy to flow. When a room is cluttered, your mind is likely scattered. When the space around your bed is full of aggressive or stagnant objects, it reflects how we often carry hidden fears, unprocessed grief, or the need for control, even into our rest. But here's the deeper truth. Your external space can help heal your internal world. The act of clearing, of rearranging, of choosing just a few sacred items to keep nearby, it becomes a form of mindfulness. It's not just interior design. It's inner alignment. And the changes don't have to be dramatic. A single shift, a mirror covered, a phone moved across the room, a crystal placed with intention, can ripple into every part of your day. Suddenly, sleep returns. Clarity sharpens. Calm replaces tension. The fortune that felt blocked begins to stir. So as you leave this video, ask yourself, what energy am I sleeping in? What am I unconsciously allowing into my most vulnerable hours? If this message resonated, Share it in the comments below. Write something like, "I'm clearing my space to welcome clarity," or "I'm protecting my energy from tonight forward." And if you found this wisdom valuable, like the video, subscribe to Wisdom of the Dharma, and turn on notifications, because your space holds your story. And it's time to write a new one.